This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So today we'll talk about data modeling. Nothing but what kind of objects that we can use in our project, the standard objects as well as the custom objects. Okay.
Sir, I can't
Go
hear
ahead.
you.
Just 1 second. Others, can you hear me? Shravan,
Sir, I
Amir,
can hear two of your voices. Let me join
two
again.
voices. 1 second. Hold on.
I
Hold
can
on.
hear
1 second.
you. Okay.
So can you hear me now?
Yeah, sir, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
I could hear a major echo earlier. I don't know why.
Now?
Sorry about. Yeah, now it's absolutely clear. Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine. No issues. So let us log into our account. So how to log into Salesforce? Login.salesforce.com. So use these kind of words, at least if you become familiar with Salesforce. Okay. So when you started reading ABC, you might have did a mug, right? So ABC. So I'll suggest, okay, since it is a new technology, okay. So I'll suggest use use this like a sentence like when if you want to join login.salesforce.com. Okay, so I see some of the students that still get confused how they want to log into Salesforce means they'll put up a blank face. So if you want to have a practice environment, just go this website and create a practice environment. Once you created a practice environment and you want to use that environment every day to practice purpose, and same time in the real time also you will log into Salesforce by using the URL called login.salesforce.com. Okay, login.salesforce.com. Okay, so now let us log into our account. So I'll be logging into our account. So you should give your user ID and password. So you can have an option, you can store your user ID and password in Salesforce, the browser, because you will get an option to save, right? You just click save so that it gets stored everything, the cache and everything. Okay. So why? Because every time you no need to provide your user ID and password, directly you can log in. Okay. Just like if you are using any online shopping website on your phone or even laptop, you just save like you just go to that website, just click and everything will just shopping cart and everything will open directly, right? The same way here also in Salesforce also, you can, when you try to log in, you can save your user ID and password, so no need to provide every time your user ID and password. Okay, next. So now so this portion, let's talk. So when you try to log in, the system is asking you want to register your phone number. So why I need to register my phone number? So what is the logic behind means? So when you try to log in, what will happen from the system, from server side actually, the platform side? So whatever the user ID and password that you have given, it takes that user ID and password. Okay, and in the server side, when you are first time trying to log in, when you are trying to verify your account, you have an option to verify, right? When you click on verify, when you register for the developer edition, or in the real time also, when you first time log in to your account, you might have using one computer, right? So every computer will have a name. Computer means nowadays nobody using PC, very rare case, right? So everyone using a laptop, right? Everyone using a laptop. So you might have your laptop name, right? You might have your laptop name. Okay, so my laptop name was let me go to here, just go to the PC, the Windows, the users, So my username is MC Shubhani. Okay, I just given my name as my computer. Or else just right click on your computer, just click on the properties. Long back we did this. Fine. Yes, my computer name was this is okay. My computer name was this. So now what will happen when you try to log in first time, the Salesforce platform, Salesforce system on your user ID. Okay, so it will pick up some catches. What the catchy means, it will note down your computer name as well as it will note down which browser that you are using, right? Which version of the browser, whether it is a Windows, sorry, whether it is a whether it is an Excel, sorry, whether it is in a Mozilla, Safari, Internet Explorer, or any other browsers. Okay, which browser that you are using and what is your computer name, everything it will take. It will put up in a cache. And when you try to log in next time, let's say if you change your browser, if you change your laptop, so next time when you try to log in, system will try to check whether this is the real. Once you given you, if even though if your user ID and password is right, then also system will check your credentials. Okay, credentials apart from your login details, it will also check your computer name, it will also check your browser details. If it is not matching, even though user ID and password is matching, and if it is not matching your browser details as well as your computer details, then system will send a verification code on your email ID as well as on your phone. Okay, you can get an, let's like OTP. Okay, the verification code will send on your email as well as on your phone on a high priority basis. Okay, on a high priority basis. To receive that verification code, if you don't want, you anyway you will be receive on your email ID by default. Why? Because at the time of creating a developer edition, or at the time of creating a user, when Salesforce is giving an access to you, to that company, or when you created a user also, for user we'll give an email ID. So in the developer edition also we given our email ID, right? So whatever email ID, that means every user will have an email ID association. Okay, so to that email you will definitely get a verification code. Okay, and apart from that verification code, apart from on your email, if you want to get on your mobile phone, you can enter your mobile number. Let's say you try to log in a different computer where you don't want to open your emails. Okay, and you want to keep your phone number, you can keep. So the OTP, the verification code, you can get on your email ID. Apart from that, if you want to, if you also want to get in a copy on your mobile number, enter your mobile number. See, anytime we have to verify it's you, means whatever, make it sure, verify your identity, your login to Salesforce. Anytime you have to verify it's you or not, we can text you a code to your registered phone number. Okay, so make a habit in Salesforce. If you are going as an if you are going to be a Salesforce admin in a future, or going to be a Salesforce consultant in future, I'll suggest always read what is there. So don't go blind. Okay, just read. So now it's asking, boss, you want to get you want to get a verification code at the time of, I want to verify whether you are the real person to use to use this account. The best example, I can also correlate with any of your mobile banking. Let's say you are using online transaction. Let's say you are booking a ticket, are you booking a movie ticket, are you booking a food, are you booking anything in the transaction, right? When you are trying to book the when you are trying to do your bank transaction, your bank will send an OTP to you, right? Why bank has to send every time OTP to you? To make sure you only using your bank details, right? So how you get the OTP? Whoever using that account, that guy will have his phone number on the mobile, on the account number. So that guy will receive that OTP, right? So that's why, okay, to make sure you only using your account. In real time, it will happen. Some of your colleague who is very nice to you, maybe he want to threat you. Maybe he want to do something on your login. So you don't share your login credential with anyone. even though they speak very nice to you. Okay, let's be professional. It happens, it will happen also. So to avoid all those things, they ask you to enter a your phone number. Okay, I hope everyone is clear here. So then if you don't want to enter, you can say remind me later, I will enter later. I don't want to register now. Or if you don't want to register now, you can register. I don't want to register my phone number. That also fine. Anyway, you have any email ID, right? So I'll say remind me later. Okay, it means that whenever a user is trying to log into Salesforce, Salesforce will verify his user ID and password. Along with that, it also verifies his browser details as well as his computer details as well as previous, like how it is going to verify the browser and computer details. So when you log in first time, your cache will be taken care by Salesforce. Okay, your cache will be noted. Okay, good. Now let's move into our topic. So today we are discussing on data modeling. It's a very important and very basic, and it's very important. Okay, so we were talking about company called RD, right? So we are the company called RD. Sorry. So let me open the draw.io. So draw.io is nowhere related to Salesforce application. Okay, it's a tool where I can draw something. Since I connected remotely, I don't have a whiteboard to show you, and I'm not sharing any video of mine, right? I could have, otherwise I could have noted, I could have opened a note, what do you call it, whiteboard and write. But since I don't have anything, I'm using this app. So it is in nowhere related to Salesforce. Please make a note. Okay. So why I'm specifying this point? So some of the student got confused. Maybe this is draw.io was related to Salesforce. That's right. Okay. So we were talking about the company called RD. So what is the main functionality of this company? The main business of this company? This company is into sales, right? This company is into sales. And we discussed in the day one about the basic objects, right? We were talking about if any company which is into sales, if they want to use the Salesforce, they must and should use the standard objects called a campaign, a lead, an account, contact, opportunity, right? Correct. So here also my company called RD, for which company we are working, right, as an admin, as a developer. So this company is into sales. Since this company is into sales, and as Salesforce says that, hey, if you want to use a sales cloud, you must and should use a campaign, lead, and account, contact, and opportunity. If you don't want to use, you go ahead and create your own, but I already designed everything. And one more thing, you can also change the names, but you can use still you can use my standard object. Okay. And apart from the standard object, you can also go ahead and create your custom objects. So before we talk about the object, so since few of them are new here, I'm not repeating again everything. I'm just trying to tell you what exactly is an object. It's required here to talk. Okay. What is an object means? We'll come back to object. Let's try to understand in general software language. Okay, if I'm not related to any of the database here, I'm just talking in general. So what is the database means? What is the database? So database will have a tables, right? What do you mean by database? Database contains a number of tables. So what do you mean by table? Table is nothing but combination of records. What do you mean by record? A record is nothing but combination of rows and columns. So sometimes I write very good spelling, so don't don't think that I'm using wrong spellings. Okay, it by mistake it comes. I'm not writing purposefully. Okay, so now I'll try to explain with very common language. Let's say you run a company. Okay, you don't have any software, but you maintain everything in Excel. So you consider your Excel is one database. Okay, consider Excel is one database for you. Okay, so you will be having in Excel, you will maintain a different sheets, right? N number of sheets you will maintain, right? Sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4, like that you will maintain N number of sheets, right? So consider each sheet is a table. Okay, each sheet is a table. A table 1, table 2, table 3, table 3. So all this number of tables forms the object, right? The same way here also, a number of sheets form the Excel file, right? So in a table, to store the information, what I did, I just mentioned couple of columns here, right? Without these columns, I cannot enter the details. Let's say, even though if you want to maintain your house like expenses, your monthly expenses, what you do, you keep a serial number, you keep the amount that you spend and which purpose, right? And you mention the mode of payment that you made by cash or card or online, and you maintain all the details. You can consider that is a table, right? So anything, if you want to consider as a table, means it should be able to generate a record. So what do you mean by record? So what do you mean by record? A record is nothing but combination of, these are the columns. Yes, these are the columns. Okay. According to the column, you might have entered the details, right? So these are the rows. So the combination of the columns as well as the rows, it forms the record. And the number of records will form the table, and number of tables will form the database. Perfect. Now, coming to Salesforce. So Salesforce says that, hey, I have my own database. Some of people will say this. A lot of techies says that Salesforce uses Oracle database. I don't want to comment here whether they are using Oracle or it's nothing is going to happen to us. If you want to have an like, it's going to be a debate. I don't want to spend, but I have not seen anywhere. So some will come to know when Salesforce officially announced that whether Salesforce is Oracle database or not. Why? Because everything look like Oracle only. That's why everyone says it look like Oracle. Maybe I'm not sure. Okay, I'll give you a clarification. Okay, in some time, after some time. So now how the data gets stored in Salesforce? So Salesforce, what Salesforce does, Salesforce follows the concept of RDBMS. Means let's say you want to create a database, it allows you have to follow some guidelines. Okay, so Salesforce follows some of the guidelines by using the concept of RDBMS, means relational database management system, and they created their own database, and maybe they are using Oracle. That's okay. Okay, but they have their own database. So how the data gets stored in Salesforce? In the form of objects. So what do you mean by object? In general language, it's a table. It's a table. Okay, so now what do you mean by table? Table is nothing but, as visual, object is nothing but combination of records. So what do you mean by record? Records are nothing but a combination of rows and columns. Okay, so I want to say that if I say table, means object only, or sometimes if I say object, consider it's a table only. Okay, so in Salesforce terminology, we'll call it as a table, as an object. For example, okay, in India, okay, maybe we will call what do you call, uh, okay, I'm not getting the word. Okay, so maybe different countries can use same product, maybe a different names they can call, right? For example, maybe a fruit you can take. Okay, I'll call one name, you call one name, but ultimately that is fruit only, right? So same way here also it says, okay, whatever the word that Salesforce want to use, let them use, but ultimately table is table everywhere. Okay, so in Salesforce language, table will call it as an object. So adopt that one. Okay, so in Salesforce language, because we are working with Salesforce now, so Salesforce says that, boss, if a table means, as per my language, as per my software, table I'll call it as an object, and columns I'll call it as a fields. Columns I'll call it as a fields. Rest of the concept, everything is same. Okay, now, so since this company is into sales, as I told, they have to use a campaign and lead and account and contact opportunity, and that's it. Campaign, lead, and account, contact, opportunity, they have to use. Any company, if they want to use this Sales Cloud, they have to use this. And one more thing, we have something called a rename tabs also. Rename tabs means if you go to the setup, go to object manager. So here we can see the objects, right? Now these objects, whatever the standard objects that Salesforce has given to you, when the user is trying to see on the navigation bar, if they don't want to see with the same name, okay, they want to see with a different name, you can rename the tabs. You can rename. Just go to the setup, just type rename tabs and labels. Nothing but you can change the name of the object. But ultimately, object name in the backend, the API name will not change. The label only you are changing when the user is trying to see the name, when the user is trying to log into app, okay, on his navigation bar, whatever name that he sees, that name is going to be changed. In the backend, the API name will not change. If you don't want to see accounts, you can see as a ACC or whatever name that you want to see, you can see, the user can see. But in the object manager, it shows as an account only. Okay. So according to the project, if they don't want to use the standard names, the standard names label can be changed, not the APS. Okay. This one, if you go to the object manager, label can be changed. Label will be visible to the user navigation bar, but the respective API name will not change. Remember that one. Now, so if I go to my project, I decided, okay, my project is in sales, so I decided to use this standard objects, and apart from that, I also decided to use a custom object called employee store product and bill. So how I want to use an employee means, I want to use an object called employee means employee details I want to store, right? See, consider if anything, if you want to decide as an object means, it should be able to define columns like this, and then you are able to generate a record, right? As long as if you are able to generate a, if you are able to define some columns, and according to the column, if you are able to generate some records, then you can consider that particular thing as an object. Okay, anything you want to consider as an object means the only thing, it should have some properties. Okay, if I say men means, sorry, if I say someone as a car means, car has four wheels, right? It has a color, it has a steering, it has a fuel type, right? And it has a whether it is automatic. So you are able to define some properties, then you consider as an object, right? The same way they consider as in a particular thing. Okay, same way, if I say if I say something as an object, if I want to call something as a table or an object means, it should be able to generate a record. So how I can generate a record? If I am able to define some columns, if I am able to define some columns, according to the column, the user will enter the details, then the records will be generated. So in any of the project, if you sit in the discussion along with the client will start talking, we will be receiving this data. So you just try to listen their words, listen their stories, whatever they're talking, and then according to the whatever the conversation they did, and when you sit alone and you can decide, okay, this guy want to store information. So he was telling that store, in store he will have employees, he will have the products, he says billing will done, and he says number of month wise he will give appraisal to the employees. So take all these stories and come to a solution saying that which can be an object. Okay, so I decided employee is an object, store name, where it is located, number of employees working in the store, number of products available in the store, and number of sales was happening store. Okay, and store rating and how the service was going on, everything I want to capture. So I decided store as an object. So the only concern I preferred, if I am able to, as long as I am able to generate a record, then I will consider as a object. Then product, yes, product name, where it is product name, type of the product, price of the product, date of manufacture, right? So what I am talking, just take one product on your hand, just visualize, and then you can write some columns, right? You can define something. Let's say you take a laptop, right? You can write a product type, it's a laptop, and what is the time, you can type what is the color, and there is the price, any warranty. So you are able to generate some information. Then you can decide, yes, you cannot create laptop as a product, laptop as an object, and freeze as a laptop, freeze as an object. Okay, AC as an object. All these things comes under category, right? So in product, you can keep category as a pick list. Okay. So like that, if you do lot of time you sit and analyze, you can consider the only thing you have to consider, as long as you are able to define some columns, then that particular thing you can consider as an object. Okay. The same way bill, yes, when you see a bill on hand, okay, you see bill date, right? Bill number and type of mode of payment that you have done, and what product you brought, and which employee sold the product, did billing, right? Yes, I define all these things, then I am able to enter the details, then I decided bill as an object. I hope everyone is clear till now.
Yes, sir.
Others?
Yes, sir.
People? Yeah. Siddiq, people? Shravan, are we clear? Okay. Fine. Okay. So now let's go ahead. Now the first thing, we were talking about our project called RD, right? Now in this project, now in this app, I want to add my standard objects. So these are the standard objects. So what do you mean by standard? What do you mean by custom? Let me explain. Okay. Because we are new to technology, right? So standard means which come by default, which comes by default. Okay. Just like when you brought a phone, right? You get all the contact, like you will not store the contact, but you will have a folder called contact, right? You will have a folder called file manager. By default, you will get a Gmail app, right? By default, you will get a what do you call YouTube, and by default, you will get some other apps, right? When you brought a phone, in the phone, by default, whatever services that you get, those are all standard. Same way here in, I'll try to compare with Salesforce. When a customer brought, when we brought a license, when we brought the Salesforce acts, when we brought Salesforce, okay, whatever you see, all by default, these comes under as a standard. Okay, whichever is available, that is a standard. What is a custom? Let's go back to our phone. Okay, so on phone, once you started using your phone, first thing what we do nowadays, install WhatsApp. Without WhatsApp, we will not live also, right? We'll die, right? So we want WhatsApp, then Facebook, then Twitter, then Instagram. What are those additional things you are trying to install on your phone through Play Store, right? That comes a custom app, right? Right? Correct? And on top of that, you install your, if you are a smart person, you install your bank app. Let's say we're using any of the bank, that bank also has an app, right? That you can install on your smartphone. That is also custom app. Come back to our Salesforce. Okay, now in Salesforce, you decided that, hey, I want to use the standard objects called this, and I want to create this. So whatever you are going to be create, those we'll call it as a custom. Okay, according to your need, according to your need, you are trying to use, you are trying to get something that is called a custom. In the phone, you need a bank app, so you are trying to install. It is going to a new thing on your phone, which is not available when you brought. So when you brought, whatever applications are there, those are standard, and whatever you are installing, those are custom. Same way in Salesforce, when you brought Salesforce, you see campaign, lead, and account contact objects as a standard, and you want to use, you want to create, those comes under the custom. Clear? What is a standard? What is a custom? Standard means by default, which is available when you brought, and custom means when you are going to be designed as per the technology. Now in terms of Salesforce, if I want to speak, custom means according to your customer requirement, according to the project need, whatever you are going to be create, those comes under the custom, and whatever by default available in the software, those will call it as a standard, whether it is an app, whether it is an object, whether it is in a field, whether it is in a page layout, whether it is a record type, whether it is a user or whether it is a profile, whether it is a role, whether it is a workflow, process builder, anything. Okay, you will have two types. One is a standard, another one is a custom. So standard means by default which is available, custom means you are going to be create. So that's why I said in the initial of the Salesforce introduction, I said Salesforce is a ready-made software. What do you mean by ready-made? Boss, everything is available with you along with the objects, along with the fields, everything is available. If you want to use without any changes, you are welcome, you can use. If you want changes, you are going to be a custom. Okay, so in the custom, two things. Okay, so one is an admin without writing code. Are you writing any code to create an object? Have you written any code to create an app? No, right? No, right? That is called admin. That is called configuration. Configuration means you are not writing any code. Whatever you are looking, whatever functionalities that you are looking, whatever your customer is expecting in your project, if you are not writing any code, that comes under configuration. If you are giving a solution without writing code, that is called admin and that is called the configuration. And what do you mean by customization? That comes under the development. Okay, configuration and customization, not customization. Customization means a development. By writing some code, you are going to get the solution. That is comes under the development. So in a project, if they want to screw up you, okay, they will ask these questions. Okay, can you tell me what is a configuration, what is customization? And you will say Shubhani has not told. So understand. Okay, so what do you mean by standard? By default, whatever you see, that is a standard. Custom means
One
yes.
thing, can you please repeat the difference between the custom and configuration?
Yes, configuration comes means by default whatever options are available in Salesforce. With that you can means if you are not writing any code, if I want to say in a single word, if you are not writing any code, you want to get a solution without writing a code, that is called configuration. Okay, and if you want to get the solution and you see you got a solution, you got a requirement from the client that you are not able to do without writing code, then the developer will come into the picture, he will get the solution. That is called customization. So wherever a developer activity is involved, that is called customization, and wherever an admin activity involves, that is called a developer customization, admin configuration. Without writing code, configuration. With writing code, customization. Clear?
Yeah,
I'm clear?
Shubham.
Yeah. Okay. So Salesforce, since the topic came, I'm telling Salesforce giving some products where you don't need any customization. Only see, customize also two things. Okay. Without writing code, you can get the customization. That is called see where the simple word. If you are not writing any code, that is called configuration. If you are writing code, that is called customization, that comes under the developer's code. Okay, now are we clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next, now I want to use these standard objects in my app, and I want to use the custom objects. Even though I am not created, I am going to be create. Okay, so those whatever I created, those also if I want to use my app means, okay, any object, not only standard, not only custom, any object that you want to use in your app means that object you have to create a tab, then only you can use in any of the app. A object, if I want to use my, if you want to use in any of the application, any of the app, you have to create a tab for that, whether it is a standard or custom. But for standard objects, already Salesforce created a tab. So wherever you want, you can call these objects. Wherever you want, you can call this object. But whereas for the custom objects, in the process of creating an object, you can create a tab. Okay. And one more thing, guys, I'll tell you at the time of creating a tab. A object is not specific to a app. A object is not specific to a app. A object can be accessed across multiple apps within the same instance. Object is specific to instance. Object is specific to instance. A object can be accessed across multiple apps. So what is an instance? Everything, whatever you see, this is completely is an instance only. Okay. So what is your instance name? If you want to know your instance name, just go to the company information, click on company information. So here you can see the instance name. Organization instance, mine is AP24. Okay, this is one server. On that server I got this software access. Okay, now so now let's add the standard objects to our app. So how to add the standard objects already created, and I want to add to my app means just go to the app, and already for the standard objects the tabs are already created. So how I can add? Just go to the app manager. So from here, edit your app. So just scroll down this app, edit this app. Okay. And there is an option called navigation items, right? Just go here. Now from here you can add. I want to add a campaign. Just type the campaign, select add. And then I want to add a lead. Just select a lead and add. And I want to add contact. Select contact and add. And I want to add opportunity. Okay. Select and add. Now I can change the placement. Select campaign, move up. Okay. Then lead account, move down. Okay. Campaign, lead, and account, contact, and opportunity. Save. In this order we prefer to speak. Okay. Now just go to the your app. Just refresh. See, now I can see all the standard objects on my app. Perfect. One portion of my project is done. Now the next part, how to add the custom. First I have to create a custom objects. So let's go to the setup, go back to setup, go back. There is an object manager here, right? Just click on object manager, create custom object. So this is a wizard. So here I have to fill up the details. That's it. So just give the label, means object name. I'll give an employee, and the plural name. For example, the label, if you give an employee, for example, label is an account, plural label is an account. So employee means employees I will give. See, whatever the label that you given, same thing came in the object name, right? Then what is the difference between label and object name? Label will be visible to the user on the navigation bar. Okay. And the object name will be used in the APIs. Okay. Next, leave the rest of the options as it is. We'll talk later all these options. Select allow activity, allow track history. Okay. Then select deployed means ready to use. Then allow search. As I told, we have to create a tab, right? So that tab I can call from here. So tab, select tab, then save. Now my object is created and it is asking me to create a tab. Okay. So select the tab. So nothing but some picture you have to select, or you can create your own style, whichever style that you want. You can give color image, or you can go with the standard one. Standard, any of the standard picture you can go. You can write a description why you are creating a tab. Then next, this portion talks about security. If you remember in the app, when you create an app, you have given some profile to access that app, right? To you, if you want someone to access that app, you assign their profiles. Same here also, who can use your object. For everyone I want to give an access. I don't need any changes here. By default, click on the next. And this portion talks about, see, that's what I said. A object is nowhere related to only one app. It's, you can add a object to multiple apps. But now here what I will do, I'll just uncheck. I'll add to my only my app. Okay. And then save. Now object got created. Make a note. Okay. So whenever we create a custom object, system will create by default 4 fields, nothing but 4 columns like this. To generate a record, you define some columns, right? So whenever you create a custom object, system will create 4 fields. What are the 4 fields? Who created the record, what is the record name, and who recently changed the record, and who is the record owner. Let me speak. Who created by ID, name, last modified by ID, owner ID. Means who created the record, what is the record name, and who recently modified the record, and who is the owner of the record. So these are the 4 fields that system will create whenever you create any of the custom object. I'll just go back to my app, refresh. Let's see whether I able to see my object, custom object. Yes, now I'm able to see it. So rest of the objects will create on Monday. While I'm done for today. Any questions?
No, sir.
Others?
No, sir.
Okay then. See you on Monday. Happy weekend. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.